the RSB prayer. It is a traditional prayer that we do at every event. So I would request you all to please stand up once RK sir arrives. You may be seated now. Once he arrives, I will announce it and we all will stand and attend the prayer. Thank you. Welcome RK sir, Dr. RK Behra, founder and chairman, RSB Group. As we begin the program, I request everyone to participate in the RSB prayer, please.
इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। हम चले नेक रास्ते पे, हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना। इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। हम चले नेक रास्ते पे, हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना। इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना। दूर अज्ञान के हों अंधेरे, तू हमें ज्ञान की रोशनी दे। हर बुराई से बचते रहे हम, जितनी भी दे भली जिंदगी दे। बैर होना किसी का किसी से, भावना मन में बदले की होना। हम चले नेक रास्ते पे, हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना। इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना।
Thank you. And now I invite Ashwini Vaikal to please join us on stage.
So, good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to all the esteemed delegates, our respected chairman, Dr. RK Behra sir, our executive directors who are present over here, my colleagues, and everyone. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming all of you for this very special leadership session. The title is here, Leading with Gratitude. Now, when we talk about leadership, it's no more only about achieving business results, right? Leadership is far beyond that. Leadership is about inspiring people, it's about nurturing talent, it's about building trust, and basically it's about creating an environment which actually helps people grow and prosper, right? And at the heart of all these qualities lies a very special yet simple value, and that is gratitude. So, when we say gratitude, gratitude is not just about saying thank you to people. Yes, of course, we have to say thank you, but gratitude, goes far beyond that. So when it's a mindset basically. And when this mindset is there, leaders identify the competencies that people have. They identify the contributions. They appreciate people, and that's how they build resilient teams, right? And all these values form a basis or a foundation for RSB culture. So at RSB, we firmly believe that it's not just the technology or the business excellence which helps us succeed, but it's also the people, our culture and commitment to the society, which will help us succeed in the long run. And that's what RSB is all about. And before we really get into today's session, I will definitely like to take an opportunity to tell you or to showcase to you what RSB is all about. To show you that 50 years journey that we are so proud of, our people, our culture. So I think this is an opportunity, so I would definitely want to use it. So I've got some videos which I would like to show it to you. Couple of videos are there. So I will start with the first brand anthem. So brand anthem reflects our culture, our values that unite all RSBians together. So please have a look at it.
एक ख्वाब कामयाबी का जा मिला जुनून से और शुरू हुए जीत के सिलसिले ना कोई डर ना थका तय किया हर सफर चले संग हर डगर न कभी हुए हौसले कम RSB है हम RSB है हम RSB है हम RSB है हम आसमां रखते आँखों में है सदा ऊंची ये नजर हर किसी के सपनों को लगे सच के पर ना उड़ाने हो कभी खत्म RSB है हम हजारों हाथ एक दिल बंधड़ के चुनौती का सामना किया साथ बढ़ के RSB है हम आशाओं के बने नीति से बुने आविष्कार की और उन्नति का दौर अडिग है हर कदम RSB है
हम हिस्सा हैं उन असीम ख्वाबों का जो दुनिया बदलते हैं हर वो मिशन का जो देश बनाते हैं कहीं दिल बन के धड़कते हैं हम कहीं बस चलना आसान करते हैं कहीं बाजुओं का जोर है हम तो कहीं सोच के तार RSB है हम celebrating 50 years of engineering excellence.
Inspiring, isn't it? I am feeling glad after looking at the journey so far. Then, moving ahead, there is one more video where we will show you life at RSB. So it basically talks about our work culture, our people, how we are ensuring that everyone is thrive in this organization. So let's have a look at it. So we try to ensure that work doesn't become monotonous. There is always a fun element also available when we are working at RSB. Then I will move on to the next video. It is about our CSR initiatives. So as I said, when businesses wants to thrive or want to grow in the long term or the long run, the society should be at the center stage, and that's what RSB has been doing. Society has been at the center, and various initiatives our RSB Foundation team has been taking. So this video will give you exactly the idea, like what kind of initiatives we have taken over last 50 years. So let's look at it.
A beautiful world breathes, and it begins with change. The story of change begins with 3 million plus empowered beneficiaries, 300 plus villages supported, 22 plus initiatives executed. Welcome to the world of change, where hopes shine, dreams come alive, where we spread smiles. Welcome to RSB Foundation, a CSR initiative of RSB Group, creating an Atmanirbhar Bharat for all. Founded under the leadership of the dynamic Priyanka R. Behera in the year 2019. Guided by the visionaries Mr. R.K. and S.K. Behera.
So Nelson Mandela once said that an action without vision is like passing time. A vision without action is like daydreaming. But when a vision is accompanied by an action, it changes the world. We at RSB Foundation believe that philanthropy has to be purposeful and transformative for us to be deeply satisfied. We are committed towards our action and pursue to see an equitable future for our country.
Committed to harnessing change and enriching human lives through education and skill development, healthcare, revival of art and culture, women empowerment, rural development. For us, change never ends, and the journey has just begun. Join us in creating real impact. Be the heartbeat of change. RSB Foundation, empowering communities, transforming lives.
So this was about CSR initiatives taken so far. At RSB, we just don't talk about diversity, but we believe in creating inclusive environment where everyone can thrive, irrespective of the gender. Ek Pehal is one of such initiative where we try to ensure that we empower our women employees and also women community. Now, in the next, after 2 weeks, we have one grand event where, this is a yearly event which we do where we kind of felicitate all the women leaders and the contributions they have done to the society and, of course, to the organization. So, there are some glimpses of Ek Pahal event which I will show it to you now.
एक नई पहल, एक नई रोशनी है। हर नारी एक अनसुनी कहानी है। हौसलों से जो बात करे, सपनों के नए पंख धरे। आओ मिलकर उस नारी की उम्मीदों को नए रंग भरे। महिलाओं का हो सम्मान यहाँ, सुरक्षा हो उनका अधिकार वहाँ। उनको हिम्मत देना बने हर एक पहल, हर प्रयास बनाए कामयाबियों का महल। हर सोच में हो उनका मान, दुनिया बने उनकी उड़ान का आसमान। आओ मिलकर रखे साथ में कदम, मुस्कुराते चेहरों से बना आरएसबी हैं हम। शिक्षा, स्वास्थ्य, न्याय मिले, हर सपना अब सच बने। एक पहल हो नए सवेरे का शोर, ये एक पहल है नए उजाले की ओर।
Hi, I'm Nirmala Behra. At RSB, we believe when our women succeed, we succeed globally.
As a safety pillar leader, my mission is to ensure that every woman feels empowered, protected, and confident in her surrounding. Safety is not just about protection, it is about creating an environment where women can thrive without fear.
Without a fundamental good health, everything is meaningless. Let's focus on our day-to-day activity, our health, because when we are healthy, we can achieve everything. Let's take care of our body because it's the place where we live.
হ্যালো, আমি মনিকা পায়রা। এক পাহলের কমিউনিটি স্তম্ভে জয়েন করে কাজ করি। আমরা পিছনে সরিয়ে থাকা মহিলাদেরকে আগে কিভাবে আনবো তার জন্য কাজ করি। আমরা তাদের শরীর সুস্থ কিভাবে থাকবে তাই আমরা কাজ করে থাকি। আমরা ওনাদের জন্য বস্ত্রদান, অন্নদান এবং স্কুলের গিয়ে গিয়ে বাচ্চাদেরকে আমরা কিভাবে হাইজিন মেনটেন করবে, কিভাবে এগিয়ে যাবে তারা।
Hi, my name is Mohammed Yoshi. I am leading Training and Development Pillar. This pillar aims to address the unique challenges women may face in their professional journey.
Hi, I am Binda and I'm leading the community service pillar of Ek Pahal. Community service is about how to come together and how to take a small step towards community. It is about taking action. It is about being present in this moment. So I would encourage everyone to collaborate, to come together and take the first step towards the community.
मुझे बता के ये बेहद खुशी हो रही है। 3 साल पहले हमने ये स्टार्ट किया था और इन 3 सालों में 150 से भी ज़्यादा सेशंस हम कर चुके हैं, जिसमें हम वुमेन की जो सेफ्टी है, सेल्फ डिफेंस है, साइबर सिक्योरिटी है, फाइनेंशियल एडवाइस है, लीगल एडवाइस है, इस तरह की प्रोग्राम्स हम करते हैं सो दैट उनको ये एजुकेशन मिले, वो अवेयर रहें और वो राइट डिसीजन ले सकें।
आइए मिलकर हम सब ये प्रतिज्ञा लें कि समाज की हर नारी सशक्त बने। ये हमारा एक वचन है। हर महिला की उन्नति, हर सपने और सोच का समर्थन है। आरएसबी की एक पहल एक कहानी नहीं, एक नई सोच है। हर महिला का सफर एक नई उड़ान की खोज है।
Yes, and then some glimpses into our iDesign Center. So it's basically research and development center that RSB has here in Pune, Fulgaon. So again, in next video. right, and then finally comes our one of the important video. We completed 50 years last year, and that was a grand celebration we did in Jamshedpur. Dignitaries from different industries were invited. Our founding members were also part of it. So it was a huge celebration, and I would love to show you how great this celebration was. Take a look at it. Please have a huge round of applause for RSB Parivar. Yes, so this was about RSB journey. I hope now you have understood about our organization. And I think now we cannot wait more to get into the next exciting session. I think the most anticipated part of today's program. And for do that honor, I request Mr. Manish Advani to please come forward. So Mr. Manish Advani has been associated with RSB for a quite long time. He has also defined leadership journeys for us. And it's a pleasure having you here today, sir. And I would request you to please introduce our respected chairman to the entire delegates here and then request him to share his thoughts on today's topic. Thank you so much.
My sincere gratitude. The topic for this evening is centered around gratitude. So my gratitude to Dr. R.K. Behra sir, Ashwini ma'am, Nirmala ma'am, Rajnikant sir, for opening the doors of their organization and the wisdom which they are carrying. I mean, a lot of people shop from Amazon, so the lessons which you can get, it's like Amazon-like lessons. The amount of lessons you can get from Dr. R.K. Behra sir's journey are countless, limitless. We talked about some few hours ago about limitless potential. What you heard from Dr. Mashelkar ji, so that how to achieve that limitless potential is something, the secret sauce of achieving that limitless potential can be obtained from leaders like Dr. R.K. sir. So I would quickly read his profile. I mean, it will take hours and hours if I go in details because it's a journey of 50 years of building RSB. So Dr. R.K. Behra is the founder and chairman of the RSB group. Under his confident leadership, The group, which started from scratch, has become one of the leading automotive component manufacturing company. His vision of becoming the world's most admired component manufacturer has resulted in achieving the group's significant presence in the automotive and construction equipment sectors across all segments. His perseverance towards achieving the highest quality standards through implementation of TQM, for which the group was awarded one of the world's highest TQM awards, the Deming Prize, which is very rare. Very few companies in India have this prize, by JUICE in 2013. Best Entrepreneur Award by Manufacturing Today and Lifetime Achievements Award by the Deccan Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Agriculture. He's also been conferred with the Enterprise Leadership Gold Medal by NIT Jamshedpur, and he happens to be the distinguished alumni of NIT Jamshedpur. Recently, just a few months ago, he was honored with the honorary doctorate by Honorable President of India, Draupadi Murmu, in recognition for his outstanding contribution to industry, entrepreneurship, and nation building. An alumnus of NIT Jamshedpur, formerly Regional Institute of Technology, has maintained an association with the institution for over 52 years. So this shows the level of leadership he has. He has not forgotten his roots, the roots which gave him the foundation to succeed in life. His engineering college, NIT Jamshedpur, still continues to serve them, still continues to reciprocate for what he has received from the amazing educational institution. So on receiving this honor, he said, I see this recognition not as personal achievement, but as a deeper responsibility towards society and nation. Dr. Behra's humanitarian edge is seen through his many social change initiatives. One of them is Padmavati Siksha Niketan, which is an English medium school near Cuttack for underprivileged children. He is currently a member of the think tank Orissa, a regional body for taking up economic development and social causes of Orissa state. Dr. Behra has also served as an executive member of several professional and trade organizations like CII, Value Engineers Association of India, Indo-German Chamber of Commerce, Governing Council member of NIT Rourkela, as well as the Deccan Chamber of Commerce and the of Indo-Danish Tool Center, Jamshedpur. So without further delay, would like to invite Dr. R.K. Behra sir to address you for a few minutes on the most important subject, leading with gratitude. And there's a saying, gratitude is an attitude which can take one on to a different altitude in a meaningful way. So, thank you. So, would like to also invite Taruna ma'am, who's made a special artwork. This is handmade, done by her, although it's not based on the Orissa, but I think Madhubani is connected with Orissa. So, this is her handwork, specially made for.
My dear talented young group from advertising fraternity and my dear colleagues present here. Manish is always close to me. You all know him, so I don't have to tell about him. Just now you watched the videos and you could definitely guess what is my age, because this journey is for 50 years now completed. I think you would love to hear from these young leaders, next gen leaders, rather than me. Do you think that after watching the video, if you think that they are also present here, at least two of them, okay. But anyway, it's really amazing to see you here. And it's this opportunity, I'm really grateful to Manish ji to give this opportunity to converse with you, have a conversation with you. Before that, since the topic is leading with gratitude, I don't know whether in any management school, they talk about leading with gratitude. Maybe few, I don't know, at least I don't know, because I have not studied in management school. I have done simple engineering graduate and jumped into this industry without having any experience or capital to establish a unit. But I will not talk about my story right from beginning. That was actually meant for last year's program. Since I was not well, so I could not attend it. I would like to set the context of this topic, and in terms of my journey only. I will not talk about, because Ashwini spoke about what is gratitude, how to lead with gratitude, and lot many things about this. But I will focus on leading with gratitude in my journey, how it really helped me to reach to this stage, right? So let me set the context first. I have often been introduced as the founder of RSB while I had the privilege of leading the organization. The truth is that RSB was never built by 1 or 2%. In fact, we started this RSB along with my younger brother, who was at that time a teenager, studying in school. He joined me. So we started this, and then we began the journey together. But what I mean to say, this every milestone, what we achieved was the result of countless people working alongside us. So this is not one person or two persons' journey. Every milestone is our journey, carries someone else's fingerprints. A father, my father, believed in me. A family that stood by me, mentors who guided me, bankers who trusted me, employees who stayed with us, customers who gave us opportunities, and friends who supported us in our most difficult times. That is why when I think about leadership, I don't begin with strategy, success, setting the goal, making the structure. That is, of course, a part of your business. But I begin with gratitude, because gratitude naturally gives birth to humility. Now, these two words, gratitude and humility, are very, very synonymous, because with gratitude, you develop humility. Or with humility, you develop this gratitude. And together, they become the foundation of enduring leadership. So just to set the context, I thought I will share this. Now I will go through my journey and where this I have, who are the people to whom I am really grateful during the entire journey. Okay, when I started my unit in 1973, it was founded. I just passed out freshly from the engineering college, and after doing the graduation, my father told me go and join somewhere. So I went for the interview. I got the job in Bokaro Steel, but I didn't join. I said, no, I will not join. I will not do any job. I want to do my own, some kind of independent industry or some unit or something like that. So that I not only help my family members, to uplift my family members, but also I can give employment to lot many others in this society. But that time, you can imagine in those time, 1973, the employment problem was really, really high. So I thought, why not? If I start it, I'll be self-employed as well as I'll give employment to others. So that is the motive how I started. But here the thing is that, let me go back to when I got admission into RIT Jamshedpur. That time it was known as RIT Jamshedpur, Regional Institute. Now it is NIT. When I told my father that I will be interested in doing engineering rather than joining any job anywhere. Why? We belong to a very humble, moderate family. A middle class, not even middle class, lower middle class. Having very, very limited resources, my father was the only earning member, and we are 10 members to maintain 7 brothers, my parents, and my grandmother. So it was not that easy. It was really difficult for him to feed 2 meals a day. So in that situation, if I say I'll start the industry, do you think my father would have agreed? No. He said, are you mad thinking of this? But I just forgot to tell you one thing, how I got the admission. That time also, because of the crisis, my father said, I don't have money to get admission. So he actually contacted his boss, asked, my son is interested to get admission to engineering college. What should I do? I don't have resources to get him admission. He said he immediately went, pulled his car door, got the checkbook. He signed a check of 300 rupees and he gave it to my father. He said, I got the admission money. My problem is, what about books and what about other things? I said, that will be managed, don't worry. I will borrow and I'll somehow manage. Anyway, so I got the admission. Now, the boss of my father, Mr. Nair, can I forget him in my lifetime? I can never forget him in my life. So I am so grateful, will ever grateful to him. So that sense of gratitude, it was actually, I learnt it from there. If a person can really help this way without having he doesn't have any obligation to give him. So that is the first person I can never forget. And he is actually, I always remain grateful to him. That is one person. Before that, when I was getting admission, it was already 7 days past, last date, in getting into admission. So my father then approached a draftsman who used to come to my father to get homeopathic medicine. He was a homeopath, my father. He knew him. She approached, what to do? Already it is closed. Then that draftsman said, wait, I will do something. Then he went to the registrar, somehow managed. My application was actually considered, he included in that register, and I got the admission. Okay, can I forget that draftsman? I will never forget that draftsman and always be grateful to him. Right? When I started my unit, I got it, then I went to the Adityapur Industrial Development Authority in Jamshedpur, newly constituted. One I.N. Thakur was MD of that institute, the authority. He was asking all the fresh engineers, come here, why are you going to join the job? I will give you 20,000 subsidy and you can get loan from Bihar State Financial Corporation and start the unit. But who will give the initial money? Then my father again approached a restaurant owner, his friend. He said, can you lend some money? My son is going to start something. He wants some initial money. He gave 15,000 rupees. And I could return him after 10 years. Can I forget that gentleman? I can never forget. I will always be grateful to him. Right? So this is in the beginning I am talking of how things happened to me, how I got admission, how I started my unit. Then of course the loan and all that I could manage from Bihar State Financial Corporation, 1,65,000. With 2 lakhs of rupees, I started the unit in 1974-75. Within 3 years, 3-4 years, it got sick because 2 things: no experience, no money, no market. I thought I'll make auto components, sell into the market. It was not that easy that time. It is not even easy today, but somehow, anyway, because of the willpower and determination, I said I will not quit. I will somehow sustain it, revive it. So what to do? I went to NSIC, National Small Industries Corporation, to reconsider for the revival. And then Bank of India was the banker that time. Bihar State Financial Corporation was the provided the loan for building and machinery, Bank of India for working capital. Then came the situation that in that meeting, the Bihar State Financial Corporation said, no, we have to sell it, go and join some job. You can't do all this. That Bank of India manager, I still remember him, one Mr. Akhilesh Chaudhary. He fought with that BSFC man. He said, I am going to support, I don't have any security. You have security, you have land, building, everything. But I am ready to support him. So when he fought with that BSFC, somehow he agreed. Then I got further loan, it was revived. Then it became history. And in 1980-81, then I started, we started making various products for Tata Motors. That time it was known as Telco, Tata Motors, and also Tata Steel, ISCO, some maintenance job and all that. We were doing that. When I went to Telco to get the job, that is one turning point I would like to mention here. One Mr. Natarajan was there. He said, can you make this pedal plate? We said, okay, we will make. My brother, see, incidentally, my brother is not an engineer and I am a qualified engineer. He said, we will make it. I said, you can't make it because we don't have that kind of machinery to make the tools. So work cutting machine is required for this. You don't have that. A party in Calcutta who used to supply, he said, no, we'll make it. Okay, that gentleman, on his risk, he said, okay, take it, take the drawing, take the sample and try it. You know, pedal plate, when you put the brake, that's a brake plate, clutch plate made of that. How is the shape? Shape is like this, two-way curvature. Okay? And lot of embossing is there. If you remember, if you drive the car, you definitely will figure out. So he gave it to us. I said, it will not be possible unless work cutting machine is there. My brother said, no, we'll try. So there is a tool maker with us. That time there was a tool maker. He said, I'll try, sir. How can you try it? Well, give me a jewelry file. I'll make this. You will not believe. He made it in 25 days. Completely, all dimensions are perfect. Okay? Made it. So I took it to Tata Motors to show it. This is what we have already made. So soon? How could you make so fast? I said, made it, you just show it to your manager and see whether it is acceptable. He called his manager. He said, this is, one of this is International Auto, and that time name was International Auto. And the other is the Calcutta Party. Tell me which is Calcutta Party, which is International Auto. He just told opposite. This is International Auto, this is. He said, no, it is not. This is International Auto and this is. Wow, they have made it. Surprising. Good. Then we got that order. And who is the gentleman who took the risk? Mr. Natarajan. I will never forget his help. Okay? I will be ever grateful to him. Because that was my turning point, our turning point. Okay? So this is how, when I'm going to, or we are going to talk about leadership with gratitude, I'm trying to establish that through my journey. So this is what I thought I will share. Okay? And this kind of, not many people helped. One bank manager was there, Madan. He also helped us in providing overdraft when it was not just possible to buy raw material, otherwise it would not have been possible to supply to our customers. Thirdly, I'm talking of the customer. I have talked about customer, I talked about banker. Now let me talk about employees. When we could not give them salary on time, they said, don't worry, we will not take salary for this month. Please provide us whenever you get the payment, we can take it. Because that time was very difficult. The unit became sick. We couldn't provide the salary. I'm talking of that time when it was sick. They supported with full heart, wholeheartedly supported. We are with you and we will not take the salary. Then we said, tomorrow family payment, I'll be ever grateful to my employees. Because without employees, we are nothing. Without them, without the workers whom we address as associates, not workers, not laborers. This is our culture. Without them, we can't really, we would not have been here. All my colleagues who are present here. It is because of their hard work, sincerity, and their whatever work they are doing sincerely, because of that we are here. So we are always grateful to them. Okay? I talked about employee, talked about bankers. I will give another instance, banker. Again in 1990, our industry became, not industry, actually the loan repayment was delayed and we had to restructure the loan. During that time also, one gentleman helped us from the bank. He said, okay, we will restructure it. But the thing is that you have to, whatever conditions were there, I am not going to talk about that. I said, okay, we will do that. We will place this or that. Then I will not forget that gentleman. That gentleman is no more. Recently he expired, one Mr. Su. I made him independent director in my company. He was a very tough banker. Okay. Another instance, in 1990, we set up a unit to make some precision components, propeller shaft components. So it is 1.3 crores investment. That time it was not possible to organize 1.3 crores. There is a shortfall of 18-20 lakhs. IDBI used to give seed capital assistance at 1% interest per annum. Even though I was eligible for that, the chief manager of that IDBI, he was not agreeing. He said, no, you are not eligible for that. You already won in unit is there. So he said, no, it's not possible. Then I said, why it is not possible? I said, I am eligible. He said, no, it's not possible. So I got out of his room and I was very furious. I had little temperature that time. So one Mr. Chakravarti was the deputy GM of that. He saw me, he called me, he offered water and tea, glass of water and tea. He said, wait, I will help you. You reapply, I will give you the, that time this manager will go for leave. I will be in charge of that, so I will manage it, you will get it. And actually he sanctioned 12 lakhs seed capital assistance. I will never forget, he became the chairman of IDBI, not chairman, acting chairman of the IDBI later on. And then in that meeting, in that when they scrutinize those kind of entrepreneur, so there lot many industrial psychologists, behavior psychologists, industry expert, at least 10, 12 members, they really interview the entrepreneur and then they sanction it. Okay. In that, UK Sinha, who became the chairman of the UTI, how many people know it, I don't know. UTI, he personally came to Calcutta to support me to get this loan. Okay. Similarly, another gentleman also, he came from Tata Motors, supported me. UK Sinha was the Bihar State Industrial Credit Corporation's MD that time, IAS officer. They normally don't go to plea for anybody's loan. I will never forget him in my life. Always grateful to him. So in your journey, what I'm trying to say that lot many people in my life who came, who actually helped me to achieve my goal or our goal, how to progress. Obviously, if you don't supply a quality product, customer will not support it. Customer only support if you perform. If you don't perform, they will not give you more orders. So this is how me and my brother's journey was there. Then of course the next gen also came and joined, and they also tried to how to grow the business. I forgot to tell you one more. When I shifted from Jamshedpur to Pune, expand the business, one Mr. Sanil was there, who really helped to establish unit there. He supported, he gave a lot of encouragement and also the orders how to start the business. So this is how, if a person, if he is grateful when he gets any help, any support from in your entire journey, you should be always grateful to him. If you forget, then you are not a really true leader. Gratitude and humility, as I said, gratitude gives birth to humility, go together. And apart from your whatever management school teaches you, that is fine. You must go through that management studies. But this soft skill, there are very few management school who actually teaches you. This you only learn from your experience. So attitude plays a very, very important role while you go through your journey. You may be entrepreneur, you may be a professional, you may be in the advertising agency, you will develop brands for various business organizations. But you should always try to remember one thing. You should be always genuine. You should be honest in your approach. Then only you can really develop an enduring brand for them. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I won't take much time because maybe if you can ask some questions, then I'll be able to answer you, may get little more insight. So the floor is for you. Deal with the failures. In a business, in your journey, definitely you'll have a lot of success and failures go together. You can't expect that all the times you will succeed. When the failure comes, anything, when any strategy we took, and it doesn't work, it fails, then during that time you have to be patient. You have to find ways how to deal with that, how to come out with that, right? Suppose, I will give one example that is there in my book also. We acquired a company, overseas company, and that somehow didn't work, and we lost a lot of money there. Okay, what is the solution? Money is gone. So we both the brothers thought, okay, it is lost. It is not actually because of our fault only. It is because of the economic condition of that country. The acquisition we did in Brazil. So when we did it in 13-14, the economy crashed in Brazil because of the Petrobras. So that is why we couldn't succeed there. And it's not only that. If you want to know, then we also did mistake in that. As a principle, we should not have put so much money from India. We should have raised money there. We put a lot of money against our policy. So that is the mistake we did. But we came out of that. We sustained ourselves. And it is not by any... You see, you should have that kind of mental strength and mindset to come out of that. If you become nervous, if out of fear is that gone, and if you will not try to come out of that situation, what I feel is it is not the money, it is your mental strength. It should be determined, it should forgo those things and again restart. The situation comes to many industries, it is not with us. Okay. So one should not be afraid of failure. Failure teaches you the lesson how you can deal with in future, what you should do in future. If you are afraid of failure, then you are gone. Have I answered or still not? Okay. Anyone else? Yes.
So my question is, does feeling grateful influence your decision-making capability? Because people say when you are taking decisions, whether in business or something, you have to be very practical. You have to, like your decisions should be based on numbers and, charts and everything. So does feeling grateful influence your decision-making capacity in any way? Or should it be affecting your decision-making capacity?
Which one I didn't get you?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, because we were talking about that we should be grateful for things or people who have helped us, right? So while making decisions, especially in business, does feeling of gratitude affect our decision-making, capability in any way?
Never. You have to actually judge where, how. Gratitude doesn't mean that you should be grateful to everyone, anyone. You have to judge to whom you should be grateful. If I understood properly, if someone cheated you, will you be grateful to him? No. You will be only grateful to whose selfless manner who helps you, without any his selfish motive. You should remember him. Because in my case, whoever helped me, that is, of course, not for his selfish motive. That way, you have to take a decision and call. Nobody can tell you. This is the mistake everyone does. Okay?
Well done.
Will you be grateful to Mahabharata? Do you know about Mahabharata? Why did that Mahabharata happen? I mean, the fight between Kaurava and Pandava happened. They were always grateful to their brothers. Why? Will you be grateful to him? To whom? In Kaurav side, whom? So you have to judge yourself. Okay?
Understood. Thank you.
So my question is, while building your team, what is the key to finding the right people who are loyal and stick with you for like a long period of time? Because while hiring, oftentimes we make a lot of mistakes. And I just want to ask, what is the key to hiring a team that helps you reach where you are?
I didn't get you. You're talking of whom?
So the
employees.
team. Yes, sir.
Okay. So employees, if they are not, what are you saying?
So I'm asking, what is the key to hiring employees who are family and who are loyal and stay, like, for a long period of time with the company instead of just seeing it as a stepping stone?
You see, basic, when you hire, I'll give you one example. My son was studying, my son, younger son, not this son, studying in standard 8 or 9, I don't remember correctly. So one interview, I was supposed to go and take some interview for people. I told him, I'm going for the interview, don't disturb me. And he was disturbing, he was a very naughty boy. So I asked him suddenly, I said, tell me one thing. He asked me, you are going for interview. How do you interview? What do you ask? Well, you tell me, what should I ask? What should I see in that person? Instantly he said, attitude. I was amazed. And that's true. First thing you should see in that candidate, attitude. That is why whatever knowledge, whatever technically may be very, very strong, very sound, but his soft skill, the attitude, his behavior, how he deals, how he talks, all these things makes more important than the skill, technical skill. He may be technically very highly qualified. I will not hire him unless I find him, his attitude is really good. Attitude is positive.
Understood. Thank you, sir.
Sir, hi. Rohan this side. Thank you for really being very transparent to us. Often in our lives, we are not, we don't enlighten on gratitude part. There is not even in our day-to-day life. So it was a really good takeaway for me. One thing I like, and it's a key takeaway for me, that you mentioned, my motive was clear, self-employment and employment for the society, which is something that I'm taking it away. Now, we are 26 of us, as of now, here, aspiring to be leaders of the future. What advices, as per your side, as of new generation, you would want to give to become a aspiring leader ahead? That's my question.
You see, time has changed a lot. Technology has changed. Are you talking of the soft skill, what should be, or overall? If I talk about overall...
Yeah, for me now, the gratitude is no more the soft. Yeah, it is overall, Amma.
Overall, you are
yeah.
So you think that gratitude is no more really...
No, it is very important. That's what I understood.
Yeah, it's very important. Yeah. That's why I'm saying this is very important. Humility, gratitude, honesty, integrity, all these things. Don't think about the geopolitical situation today. What Trump is doing. Talk about our Prime Minister. What is he doing? Okay, what is his approach? How he deals with the foreign countries, other countries. Even Trump also praised him. Okay? How? How do you approach? How you talk? How you deal with that person? You can't find everywhere good people who will deal with you. You will find Trump-like people everywhere. Not to be noted, huh? Record 4 hours. Okay. So that is why these skills will never, this soft skill, this attitude or honesty or whatever you say, or empathy, this will never change, whatever you do. But on the other side, you have to use AI now in everything. Without having AI, does AI have emotion?
It always will need the human touch, for sure.
So human touch is required. So
Thank you
is
so
why.
much.
Nowadays, you see so many issues with the young generation. Okay? If I really frankly tell, in our time, how many divorces used to take place? Now you see. Why? That you all have to figure out. मैं कोई spiritual leader नहीं हूँ ये सब का lecture देने. Practical experience, whatever I learned in my journey, that I am talking of. I am really grateful, I am really fortunate that I came across so many good people in my life. I would have complained, lot of people cheated me in my journey. But ठीक है, एक आध आदमी अगर दो, ठीक है ना, इसलिए आप generalize मत, you will get those kind of people also and good people also in every sphere of life. Personal life में, family life में, business life में, इसमें भी advertising agency. So there, but if you are honest, really, and if you think about, see, one thing you must remember, all of you, how it is going to add value to our nation, our society, whatever brand you are going to develop for anybody. अब गुटखा, लेकिन गुटखा, why? But you are a part of that system, you can't help it. You have to earn your bread. So you can't help it. But आप वैसे, this is my sincere advice. जो आपके philosophy से match नहीं, that's what will be my advice. क्योंकि future is going to be yours. अब तो Gen Z है?
Gen Z.
Which Gen you are? Gen E, B, C, जो भी हो.
30 is the average age.
Okay, okay. So very good time is coming for you. हम लोग हमारे टाइम में तो कैलकुलेटर, लॉक टेबल इंजीनियरिंग. So that is why technological development, things are changing so fast. You have to alert all the time what needs to be done, which tools will be used, which technology, how it is going to help. So all these things, you see, no one will going to teach you. I don't know about this. I thought in this conversation I'll also learn something from you. I am always open to learn from, not from you. I'm learning from my granddaughter. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Anybody?
you.
Hi sir, my name is Karan. So basically you talked about your journey and I'm very inspired about it and I have many key takeaways in this entire journey of 3 days. So one question to you is what was that difficult situation or any situation in your life where spirituality played an important role and that values played a role and you came out of it?
Very good question. Very good question. Actually, I have not mentioned this, the divine intervention in my journey. I forgot to mention, you reminded me now. Okay? I had a lot of divine interventions in our way of going forward. Okay? And spirituality actually plays a very important role in anybody's life. We have two parts. One is material side, one is spiritual side. Okay? And if you think I'll only follow spiritual path, you will not be successful. Only follow material path. Without money, can you survive? You can't survive. You need. So material life has to be really, you have to earn money to survive but at the same time, how are you earning that money? That will teach you the spirituality. Spirituality gives you that direction. How are you going to earn your money? और तुम्हारा material life भी successful रहे, peaceful रहेगा, the most important thing, if you follow spirituality. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
See, one thing, what's your name? Arjun. So, Karan, actually, spiritually doesn't mean sit somewhere in the jungle or Himalaya and do meditation. Just now also you can do spiritually. When you are really in your trade, in your business, you should always look around you. What is happening? Who are the needy people? If you are helping them, if you are helping the underprivileged, if you are supporting, okay, so that's spirituality. Spirituality. Thank you. Yes.
Sir, so my question is that in your journey, I'm sure there must have been instances where you must have felt stuck at a particular point of time, maybe because there was certain problem or even due to stagnation at certain point of time. So in such cases, what is the approach that you followed, or what was the attitude which helped you to get out of those situations and continue your journey of growth?
I didn't get you. What kind of situation you are talking about?
So anywhere where you feel that you're not making progress any further, or where you have reached a certain stage and you remain there, you're not moving forward at such point of time.
Okay, very good question. You can't remain there, let me tell you. If you are determined, if you have perseverance, then you may remain for some time, but you will find ways and means to come out of that and progress further. And then your mind, your willpower, determination will help you. That's what happened with me. There were several situations where my friends told me not to just work. I said, no, I will continue with this. It took 7 years to really earn profit. I just mentioned that unit became in 79. Started in 74, 75, 79, 80 also. 81 se start kiya, really earning little profit and all that. So I I just quit anything. Wait kiya. And always try to find some ways. And you will find that someone sent by God will come to you and help you. That is where the divine intervention sometimes takes place if you are determined, if you are sure about this thing. Young generation, the problem is essence, not like that. Okay.
Thank you, sir. That was really helpful.
Hi, sir. This is Siddharth. Sir, as you told that you never went to any management school. Sir, you may call it a silly question, but still I'd like to take your opinion. Would it have been helpful if you had gone to any management school to not wait for 7 years to get your first profit? Operations would have been...
School? Which school?
Management school.
Okay.
Because whatever management skills that you have acquired over the years, that has basically primarily because of experience, hands-on experience in the due process. But if you had gone to management school, would it have been, the journey had been easy? The waiting period would have been less to acquire the profit? What do you think?
So your suggestion that I should have left there, went to the management school to have further studies?
No, sir. No, sir. I'm just if you look back, what do you think, sir? What would have been like now people...
if I look back now?
Yes. Now see, if you see like people, if you take inspiration from you, but still there are people from IITs who go to IIMs, they do the management course, they do their own startup, they form a company. Now they have their technical expertise as well as their managerial expertise.
Right.
So looking back to your journey, I just want to have your opinion. Had it helped you? in the process.
For your information,
Yes, sir.
lot of startups are coming to me for
Of course, sir. Of course.
mentorship.
Sir, that life has taught you, sir. That life has taught you, sir. That is the biggest lesson one could ever have. So this,
Yeah, that's what initially I told you in the beginning, that you may go to the management school, but the skill, but the lessons which you will get through your experience from your parents, from your ancestors, you will not get in management school. There are a lot many things which management school never teaches you. Spirituality, talked about spirituality. Nowadays, I think it was introduced. In Harvard also they have introduced. But they will not teach you that. See, you should have faith in yourself. Who teaches you that? Self-confidence, faith, trust. Who teaches you that? There are spiritual organizations, spiritual leaders, they talk about that. But practically, how are you going to apply it in your life? Okay, you may face lot many issues in your family, in your personal life. How are you going to handle? Anybody can help in that. They may help, they may advise you, but you have to find the answer to that. No one in this world can teach you that. Okay.
got it, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
You have to go somewhere. I've been told you have to go for a function, so we'll end this real quick. I'd like to invite Nirmala ma'am. Nirmala ma'am is the Executive Director HR for RSB Group. She holds a master's degree from Indira Institute of Management in marketing especially, and executive diploma from XLRI Jamshedpur with more than 2 decades of experience in quality, function, IT and HR. And then I would also like to invite Mr. Rajnikant Behra, who is Executive Director, Corporate Governance and Aftermarket for RSB Group. Rajnikant ji leads the regulatory compliance. He strengthens the board level oversight and ethical leadership while driving the strategic growth and operational excellence. He also spearheads the customer-centric expansion of companies' aftermarket business. With a master's degree from Leeds University Business School and Six Sigma Green Belt certification, he also brings a unique combination of academic excellence and operational efficiency to his role. So if we could get few words of wisdom from both of you. They are the second generation, so that would add a lot of value. And the best part is how they are aligned with each other. It's a
Thank you, Manish ji. Good evening, everyone, and my heartiest welcome to RSB. I think this is the first time we are interacting with the fraternity from advertising and all other industries also you belong to. So I'll give you a very small story because topic is gratitude. So ज़्यादा time नहीं लूँगी. We are from Jamshedpur, born and brought up. It's a small town, and when I was small, मैं अपनी ही story बताना चाहती हूँ. When I was small, so दादाजी बोलते थे कोई भी घर में आता था तो बोलते थे पैर छुओ, तो हम पैर छूते थे. फिर कभी कभी ऐसा भी हो जाता था कि मेरी एज के ही कोई आया है उसका भी पैर छुओ, तो मैं दादाजी को बोलती थी दादाजी ये कुछ छोटा नहीं लग रहा है इसका पैर छूने के लिए. तो दादाजी बोलते अरे जी पैर छुओ, चलो छू लिया. हमने भी छू लिया, उसको भी थोड़ा ऑकवर्ड लगा तो हो गया, चलो ठीक है. सो उसके बाद तो जर्नी चलती रही, एंड देन आफ्टर कॉलेज, आफ्टर MBA वी हैव जॉइंड RSB, दिस कंपनी. एंड फिर क्या हुआ, देन RK सर, आवर मेंटर, ही सेड आपको अभी लर्न करना है, शॉप फ्लोर में जाओ and start learning about products and processes of manufacturing of gears. तो हम चले गए शॉप फ्लोर में. So then we again started our journey, learning from there, working with all blue collar employees, and we call them associates. And तो हमारी जर्नी उनके साथ स्टार्ट हो गई. There was no not much money we were given, क्योंकि ज़्यादा पैसा का एक्सपेक्ट मत करो और सीखो, पहले सीख लो. और हमने सीखा उनके साथ. So what I am trying to tell you or giving, I'm trying to give you a message कि ये जो gratitude है, appreciation है, humility, empathy, ये हमने बहुत naturally सीखा without they telling us the meaning or definition of humility, definition of appreciation or gratitude. मुझे तो ग्रेटिट्यूड का मतलब पहले पता नहीं था. पहले हम थैंक यू और अप्रिसिएशन का मीनिंग हम जानते थे. तो एंड दैट्स हाउ नेचुरली दैट कल्चर, दैट वैल्यूज़ केम फ्रॉम आवर दादाजी एंड देन आवर फादर, अंकल, एंड देन वी नेचुरली लर्न दोज working with people and how we created bonding with them. And with that bonding, how we have created our culture. हमने समझा उनको, उन्होंने अपने बारे में शेयर किया, हमने अपने बारे में शेयर किया. We work together. तो उससे हमने क्या सीखा कि be grounded, deal with people with humility, empathy, appreciate people, learn from them, because हमने उनसे ही सीखा है. हम सीख के कुछ गए नहीं थे. As you said कि मैनेजमेंट इंस्टीट्यूट में बहुत कुछ सिखा देते हैं, which will helpful. This has really helped me when I did XLRI, after my experience, that really helped me. But then first time when I did MBA, तो मैं सिर्फ पढ़ाई करके आई थी, मुझे और कुछ नहीं पता था. जब मैंने उनके साथ काम किया तो रियल लर्निंग मुझे मिला. Now, I have learned so many things, not only technology, product, processes, many other things which were not told or taught in our management schools. So that's what RK sir was mentioning about, कि सब कुछ नहीं सिखाया जाता है, वो आप जब काम करते हो तब सीखते हो. So that's the short message I wanted to give you, and that's how the RSB culture has built. We are always we are always grounded. We respect people. We respect. We empower people. Like they should take their own decision. They can do mistakes. If they don't do mistakes, then they will not learn out of it. So that's the way we built. एंड जो आपने एक बार क्वेश्चन पूछा भी था कि हाउ यू हैव डेल्ट विद द डिफ़िकल्ट सिचुएशन, दैट्स ये जो बॉन्डिंग है, ये जो रैपो है, कल्चर है, वैल्यूज़ है, वही आपको सस्टेन करता है कंपनी में. अगर आपके एम्प्लॉयज़ के साथ आपने जो वैल्यू क्रिएट किया है, जो एक रिलेशनशिप क्रिएट किया है, दैट्स द रियल थिंग विच यू गेट व्हेन यू आर इन ट्रबल. It's not numbers, it's not achievement, it's not figures. ये तो सब कंपनी करते हैं. ये आपको अचीव करना है, ये आपको अवार्ड मिलेगा. You achieve this, you will get reward. So that's one thing. Reward and recognition should happen. But अगर आपने वो बॉन्डिंग क्रिएट किया है, अपनी कल्चर क्रिएट किया है, so when you are in trouble, they will stand with you. Because they know कि आपने जब difficult times में अगर हम सब खड़े होंगे, we will succeed. We have seen lot of ups and downs in our career as well. It's not RK sir. He has seen, he has told you about him. But we, second generation, I'm the eldest one. And so we all saw a lot of ups and downs. एंड सारे अप्स एंड डाउन्स में हमारे सारे एम्प्लॉय खड़े थे हमारे साथ. हमारी एट्रिशन लेवल भी बहुत लो है, हमारा रिटेंशन बहुत हाई है, ओनली बिकॉज ऑफ दिस वैल्यूज विच दे हैव क्रिएटेड and we are, sustaining it, we are retaining it, and we are valuing it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Manishji, and welcome again to all of you at RSB. I think all of you, along with all of you, I am also fortunate to again listen to RK sir, my father, who started the journey along with his younger brother. And as a family, we are fortunate. Again, gratitude that I'm born in this family. So that's how, as he mentioned. So very quickly, I'll not take a lot of time. As a second generation, I joined the business around 2003. And as Didi mentioned, that we all in the family, there are a lot of family members here in RSB in the second generation. I think 4 or 5 of us are there, then dad, uncle. So a lot of members are there. So how, along with their direction, mentoring, and the value system that we have internally seen, how do you work together? Because unity is the most important factor. It gives you a lot of strength. Sometimes we feel in this journey that how I am going to get appreciated, how what I am doing. So many times what I have experienced and I have seen when you work together as a team, because when you build anything, teamwork is very, very important. So appreciating others and understanding who's played what role is definitely important, but you can never evaluate who's contributed how much. In the face of it, we see it like that, but as he mentioned, so many people were behind him or behind us to make this journey that much successful. So failure, success, everything came into picture. So that is one thing, generic thing I would say, that it's very, very important to recognize that. And team building, teamwork is very, very important in any generation, any AI world. There also we need teams to work with us to take the journey forward. And also in today's world, as we are seeing, is so much volatile. Sometimes we feel, particularly I feel, that how the world is changing is also difficult to understand. It's so fast. So many times sitting back, understanding how things are changing, how fast things are changing, whether this is the right time to get in that change, or to wait, let some change happen and then get in. So these are some of the questions I think you all should ask your own self, which I keep asking, which gives a lot of view around how do you take any leadership position, any business, any startup that we are doing. So introspecting and understanding how the world is moving, particularly in today's time, is becoming very, very critical. So from a business angle, this is what I would say. And of course, I don't want to again repeat, this is the topic today. But with this in view, the other side also is true, that world is changing fast, and whether you have to do studies, MBA, I think everything is important. If you ask me, in my journey, I have realized whether real-time experiences, learning, and you can learn so fast from others, you cannot believe it. So that's what I have always believed, that what I am doing is fine, but what others are doing, I keep watching and try to learn from there. Because then you skip the learning curve. And the faster you skip the learning curve, the faster you go up in your own journey or in your organization journey, whatever you are leading. So that's very, very important. Rather in today's world, it's become even more important. Technologies, the edge, the intelligence edge is reducing because everybody has a tool now. So what do you do? It's the level playing field is increasing. The field is become much more level playing. So as AI is getting introduced, the God is giving you more signal that start using your brain. So even more. So earlier, without using it, you were able to hear a chairman as well. So all the best to all of you. And RSB is always open. Anytime, anything you'll need to help you in your journey, we'll be always grateful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm really glad you mentioned AI and the fact that because of AI, now we have to use our brains much more because one, we have a second brain that everyone has. And if we don't use our brain cells will continue to die. But at the same time, AI is replacing a lot of functions and a lot of mechanical functions that earlier humans were performing. I just want to understand, as such a old organization, how are you implementing AI in a way to not just improve efficiency, but also still retain and keep the employees retained? Because one of the major problems that is coming with AI, कि सबको लगता है कि अब AI आ गया है तो we can fire a lot of people and then save on that cost. But what happens is then companies end up hiring those people again when they realize that AI is not that
efficient,
accurate, actually. Yeah. So I just want to know your perspective on that and what all departments are you innovating or restructuring or the floor is yours.
Right. Yeah. Okay. It's a good question. I think so. In CII, where I go in CII, so I was the past chair of CII in Pune. Now also I'm associated. So a lot of AI conference I have attended. I have gone and spoken, though I understand probably 1% of AI. But whatever I understand, I can tell you, AI again is a tool. Industry 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, and now how many zeros I don't know. AI is coming. By the time we have understood 2 or 3, 4 came in. By the time we understood 4, 5 came in. By the time 5, AI is now here. So this will keep happening. So that's the reality of life. And I can tell you, AI is one. There are in industry 3.0 or 4.0, there are tools which we are not using. And now AI has come in. So now, of course, whatever is better, we will go and use it. So it is very important to understand what is that tool and how and where you are going to use it. And do you have the ability to use it? Many times we underestimate the intelligence also required to use that tool. And that is where major implementations fail. Because people don't know how to use it. And we bring in. So first, the skill development within the team to use any tool. I am not talking about AI. So AI today is the buzzword. Any tool for that matter is equally important than bringing in that tool. So first do that analysis. So what is my requirement? What is my objective? And what tool will suit me to solve this problem? So if AI can solve, then go understand, learn AI and use it. If a simple Excel tool, pivot table can probably also solve many things. If that solves it, and if that person knows how to use it, that is better than AI. So it's important how you use any tool and how you should know how to use it and then apply. So apply your mind before applying anything else. Again, that's what I would say. So that's my advice. Thank you.
gratitude too.
Alright, so with this we come towards the end of today's session, and I would like to propose a vote of thanks. First and foremost, on behalf of everyone present over here, I would like to sincerely thank our respected chairman, Dr. R.K. Behra, for your thought-provoking and inspiring words. So we have learned a lot about gratitude now, and I'm sure all of us will ensure that we will practice these learnings in our day-to-day leadership journey. Yeah, so thank you so much. Then, of course, my executive directors who are present over here, your words of wisdom also would help us. So thank you so much for being with us today. It's always inspiring to see both of you speaking, and your presence itself is motivating enough. So thank you for being with us. And then Mr. Advani ji, thank you so much for gracefully introducing our chairman to everyone, and of course, thank you for being with us today. It was a pleasure having you. And all the esteemed delegates from different organizations and different industries, I hope, first of all, thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to host you. And it was a pleasure listening to all of you, your questions, our answers. I think it was a great exchange that we have had today on the topic of gratitude, and I'm sure you have a lot of learnings that you will want to take away along with you today. Yeah. And then, of course, last but definitely not the least, my entire organizing committee. Can I have all my committee members here, please? Please, quickly, please, if you can just come forward. I think gratitude should start from here, right? So this is my entire organized. I hope everyone is here. Okay, so some people are outside, but let me. So thank you so much, team. Without your tireless efforts behind the scene, I think this kind of events are just impossible. So give them a big round of applause. Thank you so much. And with this, we will end today's session. There is a high tea organized outside for you. Again, a good opportunity for all of us to network, so let's utilize it. And before you really go out, there is one board out there which says, you just have to make a note of what you are grateful for, because this is the topic today. So let's write it, and then we can all go out, enjoy the high tea. And once again, wish you a great evening ahead and safe travel. Thank you so much.
Thank you.